In 1932, Australia went to war with birds. That is not a joke title. It's in the record. Real soldiers, real machine guns, a real major with a real budget sent against the emu. The emu is a bird 6 feet tall that cannot fly and does not know what a country is. Australia lost. And you should watch how they lost, because it is exactly how you lose, and we can show you the whole thing in 4 battles. Everything you are about to hear is in the record. We checked, because we did not believe it either. Here's our man. He fought in the First World War, France, the real one, and he came home, and his government gave him a thank you present, a farm in Western Australia. Now you should know one thing about this land, which is that nobody else wanted it. That was the deal for soldiers. Here's some dirt at the edge of the map. Grow wheat. Good luck. Then the depression hits, and wheat prices fall through the floor, and the government tells him, grow more wheat, and there will be subsidy money. He grows more wheat. The money never comes. So it's 1932, and everything he has is standing in that field, and all he wants, watch how small this stays, is to get the harvest in before the bank writes him a letter. And then 20,000 emus show up. Not a flock, a migration. Every year after breeding season, the emus walk inland, and this year the inland has been improved. Somebody has covered it in food and dug it full of water. 20,000 birds, 6 feet tall, eating the harvest and flattening the fences as they come, and every hole in a fence lets the rabbits in behind them, so the bird brings its own second army. Our man stands at his fence and watches the wheat disappear into an animal that has no idea he exists. So he asks the government for machine guns. And here's the part everybody gets wrong, because it sounds like a crazy person's request, and it isn't. And we say that with love, because we would have asked for the same thing. Remember who he is. These farmers were veterans. They had stood behind Lewis guns, and they had seen what those guns do to a charge in open country. They asked the one question they knew how to ask. What do we have that stops 1,000 of anything crossing a field? They knew the answer personally. So a deputation of ex-soldiers goes to the Minister of Defense, Sir George Pearce, and asks for machine guns, and Pearce, this is real, says yes, on conditions. The army keeps the guns, the state pays the transport, and the farmers pay for the bullets. You have to buy the ammo for your own war. That's the deal, and they take it. So now we meet the army, and we want you to hold on to the numbers. Major Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery, Sergeant McMurray, Gunner O'Halloran, 2 Lewis guns, 10,000 rounds, for 20,000 emus. Somebody did that math and felt good about it. Half a bullet per bird. Off they go. Battle 1, November 2nd, a place called Campion, and 50 emus in sight. The guns set up, the birds hang out of range, and when the shooting starts, they do something nobody briefed the major on. They split into small groups and scatter. You cannot rake a crowd that refuses to be a crowd. A handful of birds go down, and 40-some walk away, still eating. Battle 2, November 4th, and this time it's an ambush. The soldiers wait by a dam, because every bird has to drink. And it works. Over 1,000 emus come walking in, point blank, the gunner's dream. The gun jams at 12. 12 birds into 1,000-bird ambush, the weapon quits, and 1,000 emus stroll off. If you have ever had the printer die on the morning of the one meeting that mattered, that's the dam, and we have all stood at that dam. That's the whole dam story. Battle 3 is the truck. Meredith bolts a Lewis gun to a truck so they can chase the birds, and now you learn the ground is so rough that the gunner cannot fire one shot, and the emus, this is in the record, are pulling away from the truck. The war is now a race, and the birds are winning it on foot. By this point, the army observers are writing things like this, for real, in reports. Each pack has its own leader, a big black-plumed bird, 6 feet tall, who keeps watch while the rest destroy the crop and warns them. We need to say that one more time, slowly. They are scouting the enemy. The enemy is a bird, and the bird has an org chart. The newspapers get all of it. Australia starts laughing, and in federal parliament, a member stands up and asks the Prime Minister whether a medal will be struck. 6 days in, the troops get pulled. Then, and you have to love this, they go back. The farmers ask again, and Battle 4 is a whole second campaign, a month long this time, and we should give the major his due. The numbers climb. When it ends in December, Meredith files his report. 9,860 rounds fired, 986 birds confirmed. That is exactly 10 rounds per bird, exactly 10.0, plus a claim of exactly 2,500 more wounded, which is a suspiciously round number from a man being asked how it went, and we have all written that report. And his report says, direct quote, that if a military division had the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. They can face machine guns, he wrote, with the invulnerability of tanks. He respects them now. A scientist who studied the campaign wrote that the Emu Command had evidently ordered guerrilla tactics. Command. It's a bird. So who won? We can count it together. The army fired 10,000 rounds, and the emu population noticed nothing. 20,000 birds, roughly 1,000 down, the wheat still gone, and the farmers paid for the bullets. But here's the thing you actually came for. The emus never fought. Not once in the whole war did an emu do anything but eat and leave. And that is why the army lost. You cannot defeat an opponent who does not know you exist. A war needs two sides. The birds never showed up to theirs, and you cannot shoot something into caring. Now watch what actually worked, because this is the quiet ending history skips, not the guns. The government put a bounty on emus, paid locals per bird, and in 6 months of 1934, farmers with rifles claimed 57,000 of them. 57,000, no army required. And the thing that worked even better was a fence, the barrier fence. It does not chase, it does not jam, it does not get outrun. It just stands there, being the answer, all day, every day. The whole war was the most expensive possible way to avoid building a fence. And we have all fought this war, so we should say the quiet part. You have an emu war running right now. The inbox, the weeds, the weight, the mess in the garage. An enemy that is not fighting you back, it is just there, every day, eating. And the move we all reach for is the machine gun, the big dramatic purge, the crash diet, inbox 0 by midnight, because escalation feels like action, and we love how it feels. 10 rounds a bird. The war feels great, and the field is still empty. What wins is the fence, the boring thing that stands there every day and does not care how you feel. So find your emus and skip the campaign. Build the fence. Nobody strikes a medal for the fence. The fence does not mind.